Hey, it's me again, Amy Hepworth from Hepworth Farms, doing this composting video live. Okay, so here we are where we're doing grape pumice from the winery. And here, there's many different parts of the process, and they'll all require different types of mixtures. This, you can see, is very light and seedy. A lot of seeds here, right? This is a red grape. This is a white grape, and this is part of the process that is part of the where we're extracting grapeseed oil. That's that part of the process. So that's a little bit hard for me to completely understand, for me to explain what's going on, because there's making wine, and then we're recycling again, separating out the seeds and extracting some of the seeds for grapeseed. So there's different parts of the process we're working with. Now, this is a very weird thing here. This is a part of this winery that is a waste. It's very moist, homogeneous mixture, but quite almost like a solid. It's not really a solid, obviously, but this would require more carbon. You remember as we were talking about how you would mix carbon with nitrogen. Well, this is a lot, of nitrogen. That has a more carbonaceous material. Here, over here, look at over here, come over here. This part is where they destem it. Look at the stems and the leaves. That's weird. That's an odd, you never tell exactly what.
So fresh.
We have a lot of fruit flies over here. You see that? You just get used to it.
So fresh.
So fresh. And anyway, this is
so good. They come to eat.
This is a mechanical harvest. This you would not find in a high-end winery. This part of it. This particular phenomenon here is from a mechanically harvested grape. But this is interesting. Look at this. Whoa! Look at that color. Smells like Concord grapes. So, anyway, I have to explain to you that, well, I get used to the fruit flies. I don't think the filmmaker is used to the fruit flies. He's shooing the fruit flies away from his face while we're filming. And now our job is going to be to mix our, oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. So we're going to dump out this organic material from
the winery.
It's very funny here because David's not used to being in compost piles with fruit flies.
Hasn't got the shoes.
Okay, so this is just another part of the operation where we take the opportunity to recycle any organic matter within a certain radius, and we're fortunate to have Kedem Winery within a couple miles from our grapes from the winery for 30 years here. And here we go over here. David, you want to? It's changed over the years because of how they'll extract the juice for the wine. And now that they're trying to catch the seeds separately, we have different types of materials. So we're always in a learning curve. There we go. That particular mixture had some stems in it. We like when the stems are in the mix because it helps with the aeration. That particular globby stuff I showed you is really takes a lot more carbon and mixing because it wants to almost stick to itself. You need to break it up. Nitrogen helps break down and heat up the carbon. It's a different type of process than naturally decaying carbon that would happen in the forest floor. Now, Isabelle's going to tell you about the forest for a minute, because that'll help you in understanding what waste is really should be. We're always trying to mimic the forest and try to get back to the forest in some way or another. Okay, so.
Yeah, well, if we think on how works a forest, it doesn't need tractor, fertilizer, compost, anything. It does it itself on its own. So it's fall at the moment. So what tree does, they leave the leaves and the branches and on the top of the soil. This is what we try to have here through the wood chips. And we see in the forest, like March or September are the season for those mushrooms we see and pops in everywhere. So we see how wood and mushrooms are associated, how those feeds tiny animal, the fauna. The columbo will get the leaves and leaves only the structure of the leaves, so the columbo eats the tender parts. Then you've got the acarians that have stronger mandibles, so they will eat the stems. And then you've got many other animals we still don't know much about,
microbial and fungal and
algae and protozoa and actinomycete and
yeah, so there's just so many different parts of the forest floor that would take another whole session to really completely digest how complicated nature is in decomposition. And the forest is just such an amazing place where it doesn't produce any waste. It actually consumes
everything
its own
recycles.
waste, and everything recycles. Everything in the forest recycles.
There's no waste.
It grabs the oxygen and it gives the oxygen.
That's
Yeah,
it.
it gives the oxygen.
It stores the dioxide, carbon, and gets into the air
so
the oxygen. The fauna in the soil gives room for the roots, but also aerates the soil enough to absorb all the rain. And so then, and feeds through the roots, also feeding the water, natural water tanks underneath. And so it's the great model, because you get clean rivers, clean air, healthy plants and healthy animals. Everybody's fed. So we always have to be inspired by this great model that works itself for 150 million years for the Borneo forest. If we take that one, it's a sustainable model, and we need to learn more on how it works with all this environment, which are in composing with the plants, the microorganism, the fauna on the surface, the fauna underneath. Because there's also a fauna very deep down that has also its role, and we even know less about them. And we always have to think that in the forest you've got the argile below and the humus on top, and we need the worms.
Is the clay.
The argile is the clay, yeah. I love agile word. And we have in between the worms that brings every night the clay from below and all the oligo elements and everything in their stomach, liberates it on the top. And because of electrical, but that's another subject, all the electrical links and the calcium having iron plus will attach an iron minus, keeps the soil attached together. So you also fight against erosion, which is the big problem at the moment. And to keep our water. If the soil is well aerated, it absorbs more
Yeah, so this is what
and
we
the
do.
plants grow more.
So this is the lesson today, is that the composting is what on-farm waste can turn into creating healthier soils, and by healthier soils you'll have more earthworms, and more earthworms mean such a big conversation. So till the next time we go live, send in some questions. We'll do it anywhere on the farm you want to go.
Bye bye.